Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about this Game Rant article that is titled What will the Avatar the Last Airbender movie be about? I am honestly not too excited about an Avatar the Last Airbender movie because I'm still kind of burnt off the last one that we got by M. Night Shyamalan. I'll give this a chance like I did the other one, but I'm not like saying, yay! We're getting an Avatar the Last Airbender movie, because I did that song and dance before, and I was gravely disappointed, so I'm very, very skeptical about this. But with that said, let's give this a read. Avatar the Last Airbender has grown in popularity since its original airing. What started out as a show on Nickelodeon channel that faced numerous setbacks, including an erratic schedule, and has transformed into a full-fledged franchise of its own. Comics, books, video games, even RPGs, the series has found its niche and has come back in a force after the Legend of Korra finished its run in 2014. Despite all of this, new animated projects have yet to be released. There has been some animated projects announced consistently of a trilogy of films coming to theaters. Paramount has announced the first Avatar the Last Airbender film will be released on October 10th of 2025. For a series known for its fantastic animation, there's an exciting prospect. With this release so far, however, fans are in the dark about what that film could be about. All that's known about the film is that on Paramount release date, it lists as an Aang Avatar film, and rumor has it that the film will be about a now adult team Avatar. And now that the release date has been confirmed, it's time for the speculation to begin. What exactly will the film be about? So this is not a remake like the other one was, or whatever, live action adaptation of the cartoon, which was probably handled. But this is supposed to be like a sequel to The Last Airbender, a prequel to Legend of Korra. I can get behind that. I can honestly get behind that. I'm digging that. So the first one says Parenthood. Given that Avatar is a walks-inspired, heavily action-based series, it's likely that this won't necessarily be the main plot, though it could be a very potent one. However, this could be one of the central subplots of the film. Parenthood has been a recurring motif throughout both Avatar the Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. The latter series does go into a little bit of the details about what the original Team Avatar was like as parents, but didn't explore it in depth, and it's not a major part of the lore. The film could give some deeper insight into the characters were like, what the characters were like as parents. Only 6 of their children are known. Shuko has a daughter named Izumi, whom he's yet to interact with on screen, while Toph has 2 daughters named Lin and Sunyin, both of whom she is estranged for various of reasons. Meanwhile, Katara and Aang has Bumi, Kai, and Tenzin. The latter 2 reflect on feeling left out of Aang's education of air nomad history because they were not airbenders. A deeper look into their relationship may reveal some more nuance, and maybe audiences will finally get to see Sokka's children, who are never mentioned in the Legend of Korra, which I didn't even know they had children. I admittedly, when it comes to stuff that happened off screen, in the Avatar first, I'm very, very ignorant in. So I didn't even know that, Sokka had children. I would love to see Sokka, who are Sokka's children? How will they, transform themselves in Sokka's saddle. And do they survive? Or are they living around the time Legend of Korra happens? And why the hell did we see them in Legend of Korra? And who did he bang up? Was it Suki? Or did they like split up? I gotta know these things now. God damn it. Early equalist sentiments. There is something that's been touched in the last Airbender comics. An imbalance. Aang and the gang travel to Cranefish Town, the early version of Republic series. Public City. There they find a group of Benny supremacists led by earthbending woman named Ling, who views non-benders as beneath her. Aang nearly takes her bending away as punishment, but Katara persuades him not to, reasoning that bending is a part of her, and that punishment should be reserved for only the worst criminals. To compensate and allow for an equal playing field for benders, Suki teaches the police department of Cranefish Town Chi blocking, which later becomes a signature weapon for the Equalists. How Equalist teachings become so widespread by the time the Lesson of Korra is a story has yet to be told. Having it be the central theme of the film may just be one way to bridge the gap between the two eras. It may also allow for some interesting action pieces and removes one of Aang's greatest abilities off the board. He can't simply remove his enemy's bending, and as a pacifist, he would have trouble facing an army of non-benders. Their attacks are very similar to airbenders in face of abilities, meaning Aang would need to use finesse in order to defeat them. And while Aang did have an adversary who could G-block Chai Li, he never faced off against her in the course of Avatar the Last Airbender story. Now that is interesting. And I think they're right. I don't remember seeing them in I don't remember seeing Ty Lee and Aang ever duke it out. Now that they talk about it. And I grew up when I remember watching Legend of Korra and The Last Airbender when they were new. So I'm surprised. Okay. And Azula Redemption. The crazy sister Zuko? Okay. I see. Azula is absolutely a fan favorite character and one of the best villains in the Avatar franchise. Her deviousness and perfectionism resulted in an antagonist that was resourceful, deadly, and nearly always 2 steps ahead. But this culminated in a breakdown for Azula, unable to cope with the realization that she was flawed and that while she thought being feared and respected could replace it, love was what she deeply needed. Azula ended up defeated by Katara at the end of the original series. In the comics, Zuko eventually releases Azula so that she can help him find their long-lost mother, Ursa. The two succeed, but years of feeling neglected and unloved by her mother keeps Azula on her path of villainy. She runs off and is next seen trying to mold Zuko into the Fire Lord she thinks he should be, before once again being defeated. She hasn't been seen since. A redemption for Azula is something that many fans have been speculating about since the original series ended, and Avatar the Last Airbender is famed for having one of the best redemption arcs of all time, though fan opinion is split on whether it should happen or not. Some want Azula to stay that devious character she's always been. Others, however, think that Azula is much more like Zuko than she cares to admit. She's an abused child who was indoctrinated to believe wholeheartedly to the Fire Nation imperialistic policy. A popular fan theory holds that Azula will be redeemed eventually and ended up as a shaman who helped Korra regain her memories in the Lesson of Korra Book 2. Could Zuko finally pull her back from the brink? Now that I want to go into a little bit. I do think that Azula, that whole redemption arc is interesting. I've always been like interested in those redemption arcs. That's like, especially if they do it well, like with the whole Vader scene, Darth Vader moments in Return of the Jedi, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Luke could have said, "Fuck you, father. You killed a lot of innocent people. You tried to kill my sister." Who knows if like Luke found out that Anakin killed his mother. But he could probably say, if he found out that Vader killed his mother, he could say, "You killed my mother. Try to kill me. Cut off my hand. Fuck you. I'm going to kill your ass." But no. Vader and Luke said, "I love you, father. There's still good in you. I'm going to fight for you." And I would very much like to see that type of thing, like where like Luke Skywalker was like the catalyst for Darth Vader's redemption arc in Star Wars Return of the Jedi to happen in here, where Zuko is the catalyst to help Azula redeem herself. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Sure, have us see like her still being someone like her being evil, but have Zuko help her find that light that's in her. Red Lotus formation. The Red Lotus was a major antagonist of the Legend of Korra Book 3. They are a terrorist splinter cell of the Order of the White Lotus, which they felt strayed from its original intention as a secret society in order to become glorified bodyguards of the Avatar. Little is known of what happened to the schism, except for the face that was founded by a member named by Sabo. While Korra didn't know about their existence, the Red Lotus was not a secret to the Order of the White Lotus, and existed at least since Korra was a little girl. It's possible their roots trace back to Aang's time, and that he had to deal with them on more than one occasion. Seeing the origins of this particular schism could provide additional context for their fan favorite villains from the Legend of Korra. Okay, sure. I'll be game for that. Then Fire Nation Civil War. The Fire Nation was defeated at the end of the original series, but the comics shows that the transition towards peace wasn't an easy one. Zuko faced numerous assassination attempts, and a group known as the New Ozai Society wanted to overthrow him and reinstate his father, Fire Lord Ozai, as the head of the country. While the Fire Nation is still on its peaceful path in the Legend of Korra, there's nothing that says the Fire Nation didn't undergo another period of turmoil. If the film does bring back Azula and she's still on the wrong path, then perhaps she can serve as a figurehead of a Fire Nation imperialist to rally around, or perhaps a new character could be riling up the nobles around the Fire Nation, trying to incite another war. It's clear that the 100-Year War left a deep scar on the planet, and it would be well within the themes of the series, and very timely for a demo to rise, promising renewed prosperity for the Fire Nation. And I think that also could be like a really cool plot hole. And I kind of like the whole like Azula thing, because maybe Azula's not the figurehead, but she tries to help out them. And through that Fire Nation Civil War, we could get that Azula redemption. Maybe not in the first film. Maybe towards by the end of the second film. Maybe the whole Fire Nation Civil War could be the central piece for all three films. Just saying. Bridging the gap between the Avatar the Last Airbender and the Legend of Korra. It's almost a certainty that the film will bridge the gap between Avatar the Last Airbender and the Legend of Korra. 70 years separated the two series, and very little of the time period has actually been filled in. The industrialization process has only just begun in Aang's time, and has resulted in widespread urbanization by Korra's time. Many characters from the original series have unknown fates. Sokka is probably the least developed character post-original series. It's not even known who or if he's married. Suki has yet to be seen in the content post-comics, which are at most 3 years past the end of the original show. Tylia and May's fates are unknown. It's generally assumed May is Usumi's mother, and she and Zuko are currently together in the comics. The film might finally touch on what happened to the characters. Regardless of what the film will be about, it is an exciting prospect to be able to see Team Avatar all grown up in a feature-length project. The world of Avatar has many more stories to come for the sake of nostalgia. The film will drop the same year the franchise celebrates its 20th anniversary. It's comforting to be able to return to familiar characters. Hopefully, it makes enough money for a sequel to follow. The first theatrical After the Last Airbender film will hit theaters on October 10th, 2025. So, again, at first I was kind of skeptical, but I'm somewhat a little bit cautious too. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm very excited for this. Very excited for this. Looking forward to this. Now, I'm cautious because I was this excited for the last Airbender movie that came out, in 2011, I want to say. I was a year off. It came out on July 1st, 2010, so I was close. But that movie was oh my god, it was more of an insult to the Avatar the Last Airbender show than was a compliment. You want to see what I feel like is a compliment to the source, the thing that's getting rebooted? Watch The Lion King 2016. That movie is a compliment to the Jungle Book cartoon, in my opinion. In my opinion. The 1990 Ninja Turtle trilogy. You can say what you like. The third one is debatable. I'll give you guys that. But at least the first two films on the Ninja Turtle trilogy that came out in the 1990s, they were a compliment to the Ninja Turtles lore. Last Shitbender, as I call it, was an insult to After the Last Airbender. Legend of Korra was a compliment to After the Last Airbender. Way more than what the Last Shitbender did. So, my point being, I'm optimistic but cautious at the same time. And I have every intention of giving this movie a chance, or this trilogy of movies a chance, whenever it comes out. But with that said, what do you wonderful people think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Wonderful day. Be kind to one another. And I'll talk to you fellow Manchester Laters. Later, taters.